Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is the owner of D-BAT in West El Paso, Mr. Andy Power. Mr. Powers, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh no, I'm always about promoting local businesses. And I'll tell you the truth, this one excites me because I play baseball. I guess I could say I'm a former baseball player because I don't play as much anymore.
Yeah.
What is D-BAT all about from the West Side?
Oh man, what I found since we've been open is that it kind of means a lot of things for everybody, just depending on that individual. Obviously predominantly what we have is youth and high school players that come over here and they're playing because they're trying to get better, trying to develop their skills and get themselves in a position where they can, play at the next level, whatever that level is for them. But at the same time, we've also got guys that come in that are in their 60s or 70s during the day, and they come over here just to stay sharp, stay active. Some of them still play in senior leagues around town, baseball or softball. And so it just becomes personal, I think, to the individual of what they're trying to do. For other people, they just come out and they just, they don't play and haven't played maybe in a long time, but just like to do it every once in a while as kind of some recreation and, something different to do. And the good news is that we can kind of accommodate all of that depending on what their needs are, what they want to do.
Oh, that's awesome. You kind of described me there at the end about, not playing, haven't done anything in a while, but I mean, I loved baseball ever since I can remember, and just playing. And it's gone as far as that, I am a big Yankees fan, and my son I named him Jeter. That's his middle name though. His middle name. My
son's middle name is Nolan.
Oh, hey, there you go. That's another great player. I remember growing up with too. I mean, that is so awesome. But Mr. Powers, if you don't mind me asking yourself, did you play at all as well?
I did. Yeah. I played all the way up through college. So I grew up in high school, was just north of Kansas City, in a small town called St. Joseph, Missouri. And out of high school, I got the opportunity to go play at the University of Missouri. And I was there for 2 years and then transferred and finished up at the University of New Mexico. And I got hurt. I kind of actually battled a lot of injuries in college, but it finally became the detrimental one that we all know about today in the Tommy John surgery. I did not have the surgery. I was an eligible candidate, but didn't have it. I remember the orthopedic as if he was telling me earlier today, and his words were that, you've got a complete tear. Putting your elbow back together would be like trying to sew back together a wet paper bag, but I think we can rehab it. So that's what we did. Salvaged a little bit of a career, but it was over. And I just knew that at that point I wanted to get into coaching. Predominantly the initial reason why I wanted to get in was kind of selfish in the sense that I wanted to figure out, why did this happen to me? And then as I started kind of diving into understanding the body and everything else, I started to realize quickly that, I wasn't necessarily being fed the right information, especially for me. And then it kind of evolved into my why as to, I just want to try to help make sure that other players that I have an opportunity to be around and influence don't ever have to go through what I went through as a player. And so that's kind of become the driving mission today. I was in college baseball coaching for many years and then got out of it into the private side. Actually moved to El Paso in 2009 to get into the high school ranks. I kind of just got burned out in the college game, didn't handle it very well because of the grind that it is. And so I moved out here in 2009 and pursued a high school job. I was able to do that. I was the head coach at Franklin for 3 years and then left that to go into the private side and did a few different things. Started my own company called the Texas Pitching Institute, which still exists today in a different capacity, but it's here. We've kind of merged that with D-BAT here at West El Paso. And then here we are. We've got D-BAT now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That it's so awesome that you are taking your experiences and showing today's youth and just kind of guiding them on on the do's and don'ts, basically, and kind of like the right way. I've always tried to push, youngsters, depending on if it was, sports on like my experience in sports or even like with my profession. So I do a lot of video and production, movie production, and I always get questions like, "Hey, try it this way," or try to guide them the right way or to the right person who, if I don't know, they know, and that's just so awesome of you doing that for today here in El Paso as well. What are some of the things that you guys do there at D-BAT over there in the West?
So we have a lot of different offerings. And like I said, we kind of try to meet the athlete. As I say, we try to kind of meet the athlete where they're at and what they want to do. So at the very basic level that we have automatic pitching machines. So you can come in and hit baseballs or hit softballs, depending on what you want to do, slow pitch or fast pitch, or in baseballs at various levels. From there, we offer just cage rentals. So if you wanted to come in and just have a cage for yourself that you want to hit off a tee or have somebody throw to you, you've got that opportunity. Then we can graduate into lessons, where we've got instructors out here that have different competency skills that they are probably more expert in than some of the other instructors that we have. For example, some guys focus a lot on pitching, while other guys focus maybe more on hitting or catching. And then from there, we've got camps that we'll run throughout the year. We probably try to do at least 50 a year of camps and clinics and different things. Camps, clinics, and classes. I can explain the difference between those three, but we offer those, and then we have a pro shop up front. So we are the official Rawlings pro shop of the Southwest United States in this area. We can't see it right now, obviously on camera, but if we could, right outside my door is our pro shop, and it's just Rawlings everywhere, gloves and bats, and Easton, which is owned by Rawlings. So we have Easton and Rawlings. So we're kind of the one-stop shop, if you will, for that as well. And we are also the official home of the El Paso Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
So up until we opened, they never had a physical location to call home. And, I'll keep the story short, but we looked for about a year trying to find a building that already existed to go into, but it wasn't there. It wasn't available. So we decided we had to build. So we built this building, and we talked to the El Paso Hall of Fame, and they were gracious enough to accept our invitation. So we built this building with them in mind. So right as soon as you walk into D-BAT, as soon as you walk into your right is a room that we've created for the Hall of Fame, and we've got banners all in the back across the walls and stuff. So it's a pretty cool partnership there. So and then there's the TPI side. Like I said, that's a little bit more of a training of a level of instruction where we really get personal. In terms of exactly where the athlete is. We do a lot of assessments and testing, looking at the individual, and then we do a lot of customized training based off of that individual, with not only where they're at, where we're trying to go, and measuring it along the way. Just kind of a hybrid of all that stuff.
Man, that sounds awesome. I hate to be that cliche guy, but I kind of wish that was around when I was younger. But I mean, this is so awesome. Like I said, it's just so great to see people basically giving back to community, helping today's youth and other people out, especially sharing from their experience. That is just so something so cool I think you're doing, Mr. Powers. That is awesome.
I appreciate that. But the truth is that there's really no excuse now. I mean, there's so much information and the advancements in technology and the things that we've done. I mean, I kind of feel like that if you're still teaching the same things that you were teaching maybe even 5 years ago, you're kind of already possibly outdated. It doesn't mean that what you taught 5 years ago wasn't correct, but if we don't have a different way to teach it, if we don't have a new way to say it to somebody, then we're not really developing. I feel like we're doing a disservice to the players that we serve.
Nice.
And by the way, that also includes, I haven't made this clear yet, but we don't do just baseball. It's also softball, players too. And, especially here on the West Side, there hasn't been a real organized presence of softball for the younger ladies coming up, but the Southwest Baseball League has recently, expanded into softball, and that's growing. And so we're seeing a lot more younger girls, who are interested in softball starting to come out here and being involved. And that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I personally, disclaimer, I work for one of the local school districts here, and just seeing how that sport itself has grown so much. I mean, the girls are so talented here in El Paso, and it is so great to see that someone's taking initiative and helping them out, even though they, like I said, there's so much talent here. I mean, you got UTEP softball here too. It's just grown so much over the years here.
Yeah. Yeah. And seeing a genuine enthusiasm that we're seeing over here, when we offered it, we'd see a few girls come in, and then when the league started, they intentionally started it small, which was good on their part. But now, I mean, if we walk in the back right now, I can tell you, I know that there's one softball team that's having a practice back there, and there's another group of girls that are in one of the pitching machines hitting, and I would say even maybe a year ago, we didn't see that nearly as consistently as we see it now.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. Is there a specific like skill set that is asked of for you guys to help out with youth or any of the players that come in? Is there something that you guys that's like, I guess, a popular training skill that you guys do?
Well, everybody hits, especially when they're younger, right? So I think hitting is probably the one area that's most focused on. If I'm answering the question correctly that you asked.
Yeah, sorry, I made it all complicated.
Yeah. So I mean, but for the most part, everybody hits. So we've got a lot of instructors. I think we've got about 10 instructors, and pretty much almost every one of them does hitting. Some of them are more experienced at higher level instruction of hitting than others. Mm-hmm. But there's that piece. I think for me personally, I think one of the things that we've also done, this is more on the TPI side, is that we've become really good at helping players solve their pain. Mm-hmm. When they throw, and it doesn't just stop there. I mean, as far as development of pitchers, we've been able to do that. But one of the things that I see a lot of is we've got guys that come in here, and girls periodically, but guys mostly, that come in with elbow or shoulder pain, and being able to kind of help identify what may be contributing to that, and then kind of providing them with a plan of, here's why we think this is happening. Here's what we want to do. We've got a pretty high success rate of helping them solve that pain without further medical intervention or, possible further injury. But if it's beyond our control, if there's, if the pain is there because there is an injury present, then we've got resources. I've got people, I call my team of professionals, where orthopedics and people that I can call, right, and get them in pretty quick. But what I've learned over the years in doing this is that most pain is solvable. Pain doesn't necessarily mean there's an injury. It's just an indicator that your body's telling you that something's not right. A lot of the times the reason why is because of, what people would call our mechanics or something, something's missing there, something's not right. That's what we would try to be focusing on to solve. So I would say probably those two things we have happen out here quite a lot.
That's cool. I mean, I think if there's one thing I would go back to relearn, would be probably the proper mechanics throwing. Like I always enjoyed pitching a lot, but I was more of a like first base, third base guy, kind of big, and I could hit well. And I think today I could still hit pretty good. But I think if I had to go back and do anything different, I'd want to learn a proper technique or mechanics to throw. Because I could never, right, for being a big guy, I don't think I could ever throw that hard. Like I had, decent stuff, but I was never taught the proper way to throw. And just knowing that that's something you guys teach, I think that's just something that I would take my son to you guys, just or my daughter too, to learn proper mechanics on how to throw so they don't hurt themselves.
Exactly right. And that's the goal. We try to minimize, can never fully eliminate risk, right? But right, we try to minimize risk as much as possible. And, I think that goes back to the customization and just the experience that personally that I've had over the last, going now 18 years, is that everybody's different, and that it's a flaw if you approach every athlete as if they were exactly the same. They're just not. Their bone structure is different, their muscular structure is different, they've got different strengths and weaknesses and imbalances, and you have to take all of that into consideration when you're, if you truly are wanting to try to make a difference with the athlete. So yeah, and that's what we would do. That's where we would start, and sometimes that's not for everybody. I mean, my son's 9 years old. He doesn't need to go through a physical assessment he just needs to start learning, some basic fundamentals of throwing. And some, right, for a lot of it, for younger guys, it's not even necessarily, mechanics of throwing. It's just create the intention that you want him to do, and then let his body start trying to figure it out for himself. Sometimes that's coaching as well. So yeah, I could spend days talking about this stuff. This is fun for me, but yeah, but that's kind of what we try to do. We kind of try to create an atmosphere out here where it's as competitive as you want it to be. We try to keep it very friendly out here too. And we want the experience out here to be something that people enjoy, that if outside of home and school or maybe work, that they think of coming to here to D-BAT as that, third or fourth place to go and hang out. And, we're working at that every single day, trying to make it a little bit better.
That's awesome, Ms. Power. And for anyone looking for information, where can they contact you guys at?
Yeah, so our website is dbatswestelpaso.com. One of the things that you'll notice out here is that we have memberships. Now, you do not have to be a member to utilize any of the things that we've discussed today. Memberships just get you extra benefits and discounts and things when you're out here. D-BAT itself is the world's largest baseball, softball training facility franchise. There's over 100 locations worldwide. So that's the other thing, is when you're a member at D-BAT of West El Paso, you're actually a member at all D-BATs. So if you were traveling to Phoenix, for example, and you're in Peoria, if you wanted to go over to that one, if you're a member here, you would get your membership discounts and benefits over there as well. But our website is dbatwestelpaso.com. Our phone number is 915-990-3228. Our email address is info at dbatwestelpaso.com. And then finally, our address is 4545 Osborne, and that's El Paso, Texas, 79922.
Nice. All right, Mr. Power. And you guys are also on social media, Facebook.
We're on Facebook and Instagram are the two major ones. We also have a YouTube channel that we will post stuff on from time to time. But Facebook and Instagram are kind of the two predominant ones we use.
Nice, Mr. Powers. I appreciate everything you for joining me today, and
absolutely,
I'll make sure I include all the information to contact you guys in the description below. Before we end today, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I mean, I think it's what you're doing is cool. One of the things that, you kind of said at the beginning of supporting and promoting local businesses is actually something that we do over here too. So I get it. I think it's awesome when we do our camps out here. A lot of times we have local businesses that'll give us things that we can provide as part of our camp package that, to help promote, local businesses. We'd like to do that stuff too. So I think what you're doing is cool. And I appreciate it.
No problem. If there's anything you guys do, anything you need help, anything you guys need at all, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help out. I'm always for the local business, man.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I will make sure I get all the information. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Prowse, for joining me today. This is something I was excited to do. Just, like I said, being a baseball player just is something cool to put out there and just share with others, that give them more resources to get better at their game, or help them out with their skills, whether it's baseball or softball.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Powers. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.